Good afternoon, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Today, I just wanted to do a couple of Q&A questions that I had on recent videos relating to the Farm Innovators Incubator 4250. So I've been seeing a lot of people ask me about the humidity levels. How do I set my humidity higher? How do I set my humidity lower? That's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. I also have a lot of questions about why I personally leave my egg turner in the incubator during the incubation and the hatch process. So we're going to talk about those two items today in a quick little video, just to kind of go over some of this stuff and help you guys out. If you guys enjoyed this video, please take a quick minute, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out more than you know. If you find any of this helpful, I'm glad I'm able to help you guys out. I've used this incubator over 30 times, and we are trying to grow the channel. I actually have a new one on the way, because I don't know how well this is going to work after 6 years of storage and essentially over 30 runs, maybe 5 years in storage and over 30 runs we've ran this. So I've gotten more than my money's worth, and I believe that you guys, when you guys buy this, you're going to buy a quality product and you're going to be extremely happy with the results of it. So with that being said, let's get started with these common questions. Okay, so the digital scanner or reader that you have here, that controls your heat and it monitors your heat, because you have the motor in here that controls your heat. And then this right here only monitors the heat, the temperature, the days left of incubation, and it monitors your humidity. There is nothing in this machine that actually sets your humidity for you. It is your responsibility to set the humidity. So the common question is, how do I raise it? How do I lower it? Okay, so most people, if you guys are just got this, you have your two red plugs here. You also have breathing holes, 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. By having your plugs in and putting tape over the holes, that will increase your humidity level. As you can see, my humidity level on here is fairly high. I want it to be a little bit higher because I'm only 4 days away from basically them starting to hatch. And so by wanting to raise it a little higher, it makes it a little bit easier for when they start popping out of their eggs. They're not going to be almost like sealed up in there in a balloon. If your humidity is really low and it's real dry in there, once they crack that egg and they poke that first little peephole and it dries up on them, they are instantly drying out in there and they're going to get stuck in there, and you'll have an egg. Basically, the chick won't be able to come out. I've actually, some people say this is not good, but I've actually had to dissect eggs when I first got started and open the egg up for them. What that does is it makes the baby chick a little bit weaker, because it didn't have to go through that process of pulling itself out of the egg. However, in nature, a mother hen will peck the egg open if it's stuck in there. It will help open the egg up. So sometimes we have to do that as homesteaders, farmers, or just, chicken raisers. So now the next part of that is, well, okay, my humidity is really, really, really low, and we're talking almost 0. So when you first set this up, you're on day 1 of 21 days, and you've got it set up. You have to fill the chambers on the bottom. There's usually 2 chambers, but it goes almost the whole, multiple ways around the base of the tray. So you have to add water. There's 2 ways to add water in there. If you're in your first setup, you have nothing in the incubator, you can just use a bottle of water, pour it in there. I use distilled water, but that's mostly what I drink at my house too. Or if you set it all up and you're like, oh, I forgot the water, and you don't want to take it all apart, then what you can do, let me lower the camera for a minute, you can use these little portholes. These portholes, using a turkey baster, can actually, you can inject the water into the tray underneath. But the second part of that is that water is only going to be good, by good I mean in there, for roughly 10, 11 days. So at the halfway point, I have noticed I almost always have to add water at the halfway point. Some people check it more often. In my environment down here in Texas, I usually have to add it about the halfway point. It's super easy to do. The halfway point, I add a little bit more, and that keeps me really good until incubation. Sometimes just before incubation, if my humidity is low, we're in the hottest part of the summer and it's real dry, then I may have to add a little more water. Depending on your environment, where you are in the country, that's going to make a big difference on your humidity levels. Now, with that being said, humidity is calculated and figured out by surface area. So there's only so much surface area on those little canals in there. So in some cases, if you are in a really dry environment and you just can't keep the humidity up, I would recommend you tape all 8 holes plus have your 2 red caps in. If you lose your red caps, kind of like I did, just put tape over them. And then you could get a little spray bottle. This is something I have done in the hottest part of summer. I've got to do this sometime. And take a little spray bottle, fill your chambers, take a little spray bottle, and literally you can just crack this open a little bit and just put a couple squirts over the eggs. Now you've spread out water all over the eggs, and what that's going to do is that's going to increase the surface area and it's going to raise the humidity because it is hot in there. It is 99.5 degrees on average most times. Sometimes it dips a little, sometimes it goes up a little. That's usually why you'll see this red light right here. It will either blink on, and if it's on, it's just a light warning. If it starts flashing rapidly, your numbers are way off. It's telling you, come over here, take a look at it, and figure out what's going on. So that should answer most of the humidity questions that I get. If it didn't, leave me a comment below. As you can see right there, it just dipped down to 99 degrees, which is a half a degrees off from what it should be. It usually corrects itself. If you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment. But the video's not over there because now I'm going to address another thing that a lot of people tell me that the book says that I don't do. So the book says when you are on your roughly 18th, 19th day, open this up, pull the whole egg turner out, and then put all your little eggs back in there and just let them kind of just sit in there. They can roll around, they can move around, whatever. They just sit there. Your eggs have been in an upright position the entire 18, 19 days. They've sat in this upright position. The chicken has pretty well gotten oriented to a slight, roughly 15 degrees to the right or 15 degrees to the left. Same rotation. All of a sudden you take them eggs out and you put them all on basically on their side. That can kind of have a impact, I believe, on the chickens. And what I mean by impact is not all of them will hatch. I try to get a full 42 out of 42 hatch rate. Have I ever done that? No. However, I've ran 40 many of times, which to me, that's really good, 40 out of 42. So I leave the egg turner in there. But now here's the question that comes up. Oh, you're going to burn the chicks. You're going to break their legs. What I do on the 2nd or 3rd day away from them hatching. So we're on the 18th, maybe the 19th day. I unplug my egg turner. I simply unplug it. I leave it in there. I'm going to have to clean it out. I'm going to have to clean all the eggshells off of it. I'm going to have to clean the little membrane all off of it, but that's okay. Most of the membrane gets eaten up by the baby chicks as they're coming out. And the first one will definitely be eating the last one, the last hatched baby chick's membrane out of the egg. Because usually they don't really understand what that is right off. Until basically they've tasted it and then they're like, wow, that's good stuff. That's basically the nourishment. That's what they've been surviving on the entire time they've been in the egg. So by leaving it unplugged those last couple of days, I give the motor time to cool off. So if a baby chick brushes up on a hot motor, I have learned this the hard way when I first did my very first try of leaving it in there. It was about the 5th or 6th incubation that I did, and I said, man, I burnt the wing on one of the baby birds, and I could tell that that was what happened. So I unplug it. It gives the motor time to cool down. Now, the second thing that can happen, and I've heard this happen a lot, is a baby chick's foot can get caught in the turning tray. Even though it's a slow turn, they go to sleep, their egg's leg is hanging down, their little foot is hanging down in there, and all of a sudden it continues to turn, and by the time they wake up, they're stuck. So you want to make sure that you do unplug it if you use this method. Now, if you want to use the book method of just simply pulling the egg turner out, putting them all in, I hope it works for you. Let me know what your percentage is. If you get a high number, if you tell me that, hey, I got, 10 out of 42 and I did it by the book, then I'm going to say that's pretty much what I've gotten when I've done it that way. However, I wish there was a item that somebody made or that they made with a plastic tray that pretty much keeps all the eggs in the upright position, but it would be great if it was plastic that I could leave it in there, because I've tried using cardboard egg holders and they get tore up and they get wet, they get moisture, bacteria can grow on them, the birds will ruin them in there, and that's okay that they ruin them, but it is a horrible mess, and I'm more worried about the safety of the chickens from the bacteria standpoint. Whereas if it was a nice hard plastic tray that you could just put in there and put the eggs back in there, I would love that, I'll be honest. I thought about trying to make something like that and get it patented, but I never have. So with that being said, I think that answers everybody's questions. If you have a question, leave me a comment below. I try to answer all my questions. I try to reply back to every text. If you put a comment on someone else's comment, not necessarily will I catch that. I don't know why I don't get notifications for replies on comments. I only get notifications sent to me if it is a brand new comment. So if you want 100% that I'm going to see it, leave it on a brand new comment. And please, like I said before, hit that subscribe button. I do this just for fun. I do this to help you guys out. And I really enjoy it. And we are trying to grow the channel. We do a lot of cool giveaways. We got some really cool giveaways coming up. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget, hit that subscribe, leave me a comment, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Y'all have a great one and take care. Thanks all for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.